Hello?
Good all around, except for poor Amos.
Hold on. Meeting called to order.
That's who I
Ms.
am.
Harriet,
Here.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Here.
Ms. Rashid,
Yeah, here.
Mr. Corrigan,
Here.
and Mr. Parker.
Here. It felt different coming in the boardroom.
Thank you. I don't know. So we could, just a brief announcement for those of you who walked in. These doors over here, I don't know if you noticed the new signage. This is now the Thomas D. Corrigan boardroom. You were here Tuesday. She's available for pictures afterwards.
It felt different coming.
Yes, we figured a way to make Tom speechless.
It was.
Here's what I found.
Okay, our first order of business is approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting of June 17th, 2025, and the board work session of August 23rd, 2025. If there's no additions or omissions, I move for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Butts,
Yes.
Ms. Bryant,
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Rashid,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
and Mr. Parker.
Yes.
So we changed up our order of business here. So the next order of business is the president's report. So what I have done, and I know we've all done so much during the summer for the library, but for my portion, I did update some of the roles of our board members and the libraries that they have been assigned to attempt to or try to go visit, just so that we could be more connected with our library and so that our community members know who we are and that we're always transparent and visible. So we also, just FYI, included for all of us, the board members, the phone numbers and the email addresses of all the branch managers, just to let them know, hey, we might be in a neighborhood, we might be stopping in. It'll never be nothing formal, it's just very informal. With all the changes going on in all the different libraries, renovations, updates, new branches, there's a lot for us to learn as well. So we changed up what trustees are assigned. I mean, we're not stuck to these. I'm trying to see if I still got to go visit Jaime. No, but it's just, to go and see what's going on because every branch has something different to offer. So I just thought we share these. This will be for us. And yeah, so if any of the branch managers are here, if they get an email or whatever from one of us, we're just going to be checking it out, see what you got going over there. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I did a lot this summer and we all did. We were involved in many different ways. But one of the things that I just went to, and I've been to a couple this summer, but I'm going to talk about my favorite, was when Pat Benatar was at MLK.
It was cool. It was very cool.
Loved it. She was so cool. Her and her husband. It was beautiful. I just really had a really good time there. And it goes to show how much we are doing. And wow, that audience was packed. And it was people from all over. And they were just so grateful that we were able to do this. So hopefully, I know there's been a lot of budget cuts and funding cuts. We could continue to provide these type of services. So I don't know if other board members want to share some of their times this summer, but that would be perfect.
I think the partnership with the Cleveland Museum of Natural History for the celebration of our summer reading program was terrific. I know Mark was there too. There was a line waiting to get in, and it was just terrific to celebrate the library. So thank you to our all of our folks who helped plan that.
That's good. It was really good.
Yeah.
Jacqueline did a fantastic job. Jacqueline and her team did a fantastic job of putting that together. We look at the numbers, and I thought Jacqueline put a number of like 3,000 folks were there.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
It was a lot.
Oh wow. That is a significant party.
I know I mentioned that on Thursday. That was my favorite. But I think the most beautiful part about it was that while all library events I've attended have such a unique mix of what makes Cleveland or greater Cleveland, right? Because I could see that this is probably people outside of Cleveland even attending the event. There was just such a beautiful mix of so many different ages and individuals. There was even adults with no children coming because of the location. And I think just the magnet, there was a lot, the vendor partners were great. So I got to talk to a lot of the different organizations or partners who had tables and were passing out resources. So it wasn't just about, it really was community centric. And there was a lot of individuals and children engaging with the other. I really talked a lot with Bright Beginnings, who has been a part of, I know, many library events, but just to see families like take advantage of the resources was wonderful.
Yeah, I heard at least 10 different languages being spoken. That was wonderful.
That was great.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And I would, for me, the highlights were the superhero homecoming
Oh, yeah.
was just fabulous. And then the fact that we still remembered Larry Doby and also the World Series victory by the Cleveland Buckeyes. And that, all that in connection with that, I just think it's so important to keep some of that forgotten history alive, and we're part of the local effort to do that. And I was just really, really glad for that. And I am a superhero nut.
Yeah.
I'm probably, other than Alice, the only one that really remembers the first Superman television show. And the emotional feelings when the actor who was the first TV Superman committed suicide. That was my first dealing with what suicide was. So when Captain Penny committed suicide, it wasn't quite as tough to handle. But, as a kid, superheroes are important for how you handle crises. What you learn from those stories is really critical to your own formation of how you deal with crisis. And so I thought our superhero celebration was really wonderful for that.
There are probably a lot of events that I could lift up, but this weekend's, well, not really this weekend because it lasted, a week and a half, the incubator conference.
Oh, yeah.
All of the virtual events were great, and I believe there's still recordings that folks can see, but it was so nice to see the library filled on Saturday, especially. Keynote was great, the breakout sessions that I attended, and I left with, I don't think there's a such thing that you can leave with too many books, but I have a lot of great books to read, and it was great to be in company with so many folks, not just from Cleveland, but all over, who come to the conference, authors, aspiring writers, folks that will be at the Ansville Book Awards tomorrow, but it was fantastic. So it was great to be in even nooks and crannies of the library that we're not normally in. So I just love seeing the library full for people who celebrate reading, writing, and literacy. And all the shout outs to Cleveland were great as well. So kudos to the library and everyone who collaborated on that large conference and that event.
As Erica and her staff, they did a wonderful job.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And most importantly, I don't want to steal your thunder, but the Walsh groundbreaking ceremony did take place.
Yes, it did.
Director?
Sure, and the director's report, I have a few things here. One, welcome back, President Rodriguez.
Yay!
President Rodriguez is
Congratulations.
right back to the board for 7 more years, so we are really happy to have her back and working with us, and kudos to the school district for agreeing with us in her wisdom. I wanted to introduce to all of you, and thanks to Trustee Shakarian and Trustee Rodriguez, who challenged us to find a way to make sure that folks who didn't have a permanent resident could get a library card. And so we created this welcome card. I just introduced this. Global Cleveland was downstairs with everyone this morning, and we kicked off Welcome Week, welcoming week for our, folks from who have decided to make Cleveland their home in so many different ways. Many of them who are trying to understand what the library can provide them, and we told them that they have a welcome card that is now available to them, and they can check out 10 items and use our resources at the Cleveland Public Library.
Are we going to be sharing these with Joe to make sure he has these?
Oh yeah,
at his,
we let
spot?
them a whole slew of things. We're going to put this out in the media, and starting we will be getting the actual library cards tomorrow and sending them out to our folks, and they'll be able to get it. So if you know folks from communities in which, they are moving here, and immigrants and others who may not have access to a library card, but want to use library cards now, they have access to beyond just being able to come in and use our libraries. They can now check out items using this new welcome card.
Good. I have the $1 million question as well. Are we gonna have this printed in various languages?
Yes.
Perfect. It was my last, I won't ask
Ah.
anymore.
Well, at least 20
Yeah.
different languages.
Well, we could start with about 10 or whatever,
Well,
5 or whatever.
Well, we carry items in 50 different languages. I don't think we're going to have 50 different languages, but we will make sure that the majority of languages that we present will have those available for folks.
Be in at least 8 and in Braille.
All right,
Oh,
very
wow.
good. 8 and in.
Wow, yes.
That's great.
All right. So next on our list is, I think we have it at your desk, or it's in the listing. We received a recognition from Senator John Husted for our partnership with the Library of Congress that we're working on currently to create a program. What is being called? I think. Where's Malcolm? Oh, we don't have an official name for it. Well, we're working on it.
It's the local.
It's called Local Now, Library of Congress, whatever. So, but the idea is the Library of Congress has come to the Cleveland Public Library, one of only 2 libraries in the country that will be working on a program with them and a project with them. And then finally is every month for the board, we present that your story starts here. And Melanie's got a story to tell.
Oh, yeah.
Good afternoon. So as you know, my role around here as Mischief Maker is to collect stories from our patrons about how much they love the library and why. And so earlier this year, when we were advocating for the library to the State House, we had asked patrons across the system, and I believe this was in conjunction with CCPL and some other libraries as well, we had asked patrons to tell their stories. And we probably had 50 people that responded, and some of them were so articulate and meaningful that I reached out to them and asked them if they would come and tell us their story. So I want to share one of these stories. It's actually a video. I asked this family to come here, and I think you will see why. Go ahead, Brian.
We decided to come to the library because it's a natural place for the kids to play around. There's lots to do here downtown. I am a graduate student at Gonzaga University in Spokane, Washington. I am studying remotely here from Cleveland, and the majority of my schoolwork happens right here on the 4th floor of the library. I sat on these tiny kid couches, and I worked on my laptop while my kids got to read books, while they got to do puzzles, while they colored, and got to do scavenger hunts, and then we even had a couple meals here.
One of our kids found a tornado book, and that became their big thing. Keeping the kids engaged and having them inspired at the library, but for her also having that time to either take a reading area and study. What's also nice is that it's expected to be a little noisy. It's not necessarily you got to keep them quiet the whole entire time, but the library does have this area that just inspires them. Even outside of the library on the way in, there's always something of interest.
We are so lucky to live in Cleveland, a place that has an incredible library system.
During our last board meeting in June, Trustee Fryer had asked where these are going to be living. And so I will be sending out a link to you later today where on our website these stories will live after you see them.
That's so great.
Thank you,
so
Melanie.
much.
And that ends the director's report.
Thank you, Director. Communications, if we had an email.
Yeah, let me get to that here. So this is a very interesting email. I will try to cut through it here. My name is Peyton Boling. We had just met before the event over at the library shop, and we had talked about how excited we were for the event. Now that the event is over, I'd like to give you an update. We had the best time. Truly, this event was a smashing success, better than any kind of comic convention that I would have ever had to pay to go to. Libraries have always been the champions of our communities, not only in our public education, but also public outreach. As someone who is deeply passionate about comic books as a vehicle for telling powerful, empowering stories, this event made my heart soar. I saw all sorts of smiling faces of people who got to meet their heroes, or they were smiling because they were reinforced in a hobby like I was. So Philip was here to see at the Superman event. We had a number of authors here who write, and especially Brian Bendis, who is actually writes for Superman and for Spider-Man, right? And he said, I am from Cincinnati. We drove for about 3.5 hours and got a hotel Friday evening before driving back on Saturday, so I could get to work at 7:30 the next day. Every second of sleep I lost, every second of travel, every second of being in the heat, it was all worth it to be there for the homecoming of one of our most powerful American heroes. In a time of fear, division, and uncertainty, you were able to create an event that brought people together, an event that made people hope for a better tomorrow, just as the movie is giving people hope. I'm so sorry for sending a novel. I really don't think this was enough words for me to express what this event meant for me. Bendis is one of the main reasons I wanted to tell stories starting at 8 years old. I'm 26 now, and I've just graduated from Full Sail University with a degree in digital cinematography. I don't want to go on further or start crying, but I thank you for this event. Thanks, really all I can say, Peyton Bowling.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
Very cool.
That's
there's a Mary
nice.
Hill letter.
Thank you for visiting, Peyton.
Yes.
Cincinnati.
We're now going to move into the Finance Committee report. Trustee Corrigan, please.
Yes, Finance Committee met Tuesday, and all these exhibits were passed for final vote approval today. We're streamlining, so I'm just gonna read the title of the resolution, the exhibit, and the resolve clause. And all these have been previously made available online and will stay online. Exhibit 1 is a resolution to accept gifts for the month of June, July, and August. Resolved that the gifts described in the gift report for June, July, and August of 2025 be accepted upon the conditions connected with said gifts in accordance with section 3375-40K of the Ohio Revised Code. So moved.
Second?
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Exhibit 2 is a resolution to accept a grant from the True Mart Fund of the Cleveland Foundation for the On the Road to Reading. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby expresses its sincere gratitude to the True Mart Fund for its generous support pursuant to the authority set forth in Revised Code 3375.40K, hereby accepts a grant in the amount of $15,000 to be deposited in the Early Literacy Fund account 25804646100348001, restricted gifts, to sustain and expand the program, and hereby authorizes the Executive Director, CEO, or his designee to enter into and execute such agreements and instruments as approved by the Chief Legal Officer that are necessary or appropriate to effectuate the terms and conditions of this granted resolution. Obviously, we're very grateful for the grant. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid? Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Exhibit 3 is a resolution to accept a grant from the Cleveland Public Library Foundation for the Senior Digital Literacy Program. Be it resolved that the board, pursuant to the authority set forth in Revised Code 3375.40K, hereby accepts this funding from the Cleveland Public Library Foundation in the amount of $10,000 to be deposited in the Founders Fund account 20304646100268001. Restricted gifts to be used to offset the cost of the recently held Golden Gala and to support digital literacy initiatives targeted at senior audiences. And be it further resolved that the Executive Director, CEO, or his designee is authorized to enter into and execute such agreements and instruments as may be necessary or appropriate to effectuate the terms and conditions of this resolution, which agreements and instruments shall be subject to the approval of the Chief Legal Officer. So moved.
Second?
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer,
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Rashid.
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
and Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Exhibit 4 is a resolution to accept Tech Cred program grant from the Ohio Department of Development. Be it resolved that the Cleveland Public Library Board of Trustees pursuant to the authority set forth in revised code 3375.40K hereby accepts the grant from the Ohio Department of Development in the amount of up to $25,000 to be deposited into the general fund account 10104242200 state aid on a reimbursement basis following successful completion by selected library staff of the above described credentials, and authorizes the executive director, CEO, or his designee to execute such instruments or agreements as are necessary to effectuate the terms of the grant, which agreement shall be subject to the approval of the chief legal officer. This is the state's help to keeping our tech and particularly the high-tech aspects of what boiler operations, heating and air conditioning, those sorts of things require. And we've gotten it before and we're grateful for having it again. So moved.
Ms. Butts.
Yes.
Ms. Fryer,
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Rashid.
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
and Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Exhibit 5 is a resolution to accept the state and local cybersecurity grant from the Ohio Emergency Management Agency. Be it resolved that the board expresses its gratitude to the Ohio Emergency Management Agency for its generous support and pursuant to the authority granted under revised code 3375.40K. Formula accepts this grant in the amount of $20,000 for deposit into the Founders Fund account 20304242100213001 federal aid to support efforts aimed at strengthening cybersecurity. Be it further resolved that the executive director, CEO, or his designee is authorized to enter into and execute any necessary agreements or instruments to implement the terms of this resolution, subject to the approval of the library's chief legal officer. So moved.
Second?
Ms. Butts.
Yes.
Ms. Fryer,
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Rashid,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
and Mr. Parker.
Yes.
And for those who may not have noticed, this is basically helps us protect our reliance and use of Microsoft 365 environment in the library and prevent cybersecurity breaches. Exhibit 5 is a resolution to ratify acceptance of grant from the Ohio Arts Council for Library Dance Lab. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Cleveland Public Library, pursuant to the authority set forth in revised code 3375.40K, hereby accepts the grant in the amount of $20,793 to be deposited into the Public Art Fund account 23304242200128001 state aid to support this new program. And be it further resolved, this board hereby ratifies the grant agreement entered into by the library on July 31, 2025. This is our work with Arts Next to basically put dance into some of what we do around here. And I move for its adoption.
Second?
Ms. Butts.
Yes.
Ms. Fryer, Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes, I think you said it was Exhibit 5. It's Exhibit 6, just for the record.
Oh, I did say it wrong.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Just for the
Ms.
record, yes.
Rashid,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan,
Yes.
and Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Exhibit 7 is,
Supposed to go to neighborhoods that especially don't have such a thing already.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
And we made the inquiry. I didn't realize, I thought that might be the case, but the Lockwood Thompson Fund doesn't support. So although we have a lot of support for visual arts, particularly dance, performance arts are not things that the Thompson Fund supports. So. Exhibit 7 is a resolution to ratify and approve the purchase of insurance coverage for policies effective August 1, 2025. All the usual things were done to make sure we had a cross-section of reviews. Be it resolved that the Board of Library Trustees ratifies the decision to purchase the property, fine arts, general liability, law enforcement, professional liability, automobile liability, umbrella liability, crime and cyber liability through McGowan and Company Inc. for the fourth year's premium of $577,844.75 for the period of August 1, 2025 through August 1, 2026. We have further resolved that the Board of Library Trustees ratifies the decision to purchase the public officials and employment practices liability through Marsh for the fourth year's premium of $72,000 for the period of August 1, 2025 and through August 1, 2026. At Finance Committee, we discussed how this reflects a very small increase, partly because of technical ways that we've been buying insurance, but also because we did a pretty good job at making sure our insurance premiums don't go through the roof while all over the country they're going through the roof. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Bucks?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Exhibit 8 is a resolution to ratify agreement with Bielowski and Partners Architects LLC for the Fleet Branch project. Be it resolved that the Board of Library Trustees hereby ratifies and approves the agreement entered into with Bielowski and on July 11, 2025 for the Fleet project in the above stated amounts, which shall be paid from the Building and Repair Fund account 4017400555300-11740 construction improvements. Obviously, the amount is $648,500 is the not to exceed amount. And this is obviously the very important fleet project, which is one of our next big things. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Bucks?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
And in association with that, Exhibit 9 is a resolution announcing the construction manager at risk for the Fleet Branch renovation and expansion project determined to be the best value and authorizing the agreement. Resolved that the Board of Library Trustees hereby accepts the recommendation of the Evaluation Committee and announces the selection of R.L. Hill Management, Inc. as the firm presenting the pricing and technical proposal which presents the best value, and be it further resolved that the Board authorizes the Executive Director, CEO, or his designees to enter into negotiations with R.L. Management, Inc. for a construction management at risk agreement and pre-construction phase work authorization agreement in accordance with the requirements of Ohio Revised Code, Section 9.334. The library fails to negotiate a construction management contract with R.L. Hill Management Incorporated, then it shall proceed to negotiate a contract with the second highest ranked firm in accordance with Ohio Revised Code, Section 9.334. Be it further resolved that upon completion of negotiations, the Executive Director is authorized to execute the agreement and pre-construction phase work authorization with R.L. Hill Management Incorporated for the pre-construction services for the Fleet Branch in an amount not to exceed $67,106, which shall be paid from the Building and Repair Fund account 4017405-55300-11740 construction improvements, which agreement is subject to approval of the Chief Legal Officer. This is obviously the way that procedures work for us to pick the people who are actually going to build the new fleet improvements. So moved. We went over in some length that it's not just a lowest bid situation now. It's what's called the best value, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
So
I
moved.
appreciated that perspective from staff quite a bit, because I think for the taxpayers to know that we're looking at what the best value is based on the totality of the proposal. So second.
Ms. Bucks?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Corrigan?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Exhibit 10 is a resolution authorizing amendment to the agreement for design services for Walls Branch project and to authorize budget reallocation. Be it resolved that the Board of Library Trustees authorizes the Executive Director, CEO, or his designee to negotiate and execute an amendment to the agreement with Robert P. Madison International, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $101,900 for the expenditure being charged to the capital project funds, including the Building Repair Fund 401, the Construction Tax Exempt Fund 402, and/or the Construction Taxable Fund 403, and which shall be subject to the approval of the library's Chief Legal Officer. Be it further resolved that the Board of Library Trustees authorizes the Chief Operating Officer to reallocate the budget amounts set forth in Exhibit A amongst all the budget line items set forth in Exhibit A, provided such reallocations do not increase the overall project budget. And they're attached as Exhibit A. Obviously, we're all excited to get Walls Branch underway. So moved.
What does WAAO, I mean?
What?
I forget what that stands for.
West 80 is our partner on the project.
That's
They're
what they call
responsible to care.
themselves.
It's a combination of Northwest Neighborhoods Development
Gotcha.
Corporation with
Northwest
Sal's
Neighborhoods.
Development, who's their joint venture partner.
Thank you.
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Exhibit 11 is a resolution authorizing the Fourth Amendment to agreement with Moody Nolan Incorporated for design services. Be it resolved that the Board of Library Trustees authorize the Executive Director, CEO, or his designee to negotiate and execute a Fourth Amendment to the agreement with Moody Nolan Incorporated upon such terms and conditions as are approved by the library's chief legal officer, increasing the architect fee by $21,500 for a total contract amount not to exceed $362,688.52, with the additional $21,500 being charged to the Billing Repair Fund account 401-74803 53710-11748 professional services. As we discussed at the Finance Committee meeting, this is probably the final amendment to this agreement. The Moody Nolan work on design services for MLK has been very important, and it's also been a part of the template for how we do all our branding in all the branches. And so it's been a very, very effective contract. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Exhibit 12 is a resolution to advance cash from the general fund to the Public Art Fund and the CPL Center for Media Fund. Be it resolved upon adoption of the resolution to ratify acceptance from the Ohio Arts Council for Library Dance Lab, this board authorizes that the general fund advance cash in the amount of $20,793 to the Public Art Fund for the same purposes for which the funds were established and for which repayment in equal amount is made within a year or until all the requests for reimbursements have been received. Be it further resolved, this board authorizes that the general fund advance cash in the amount of $2,015,512 to the CPL Center for Mandel, CPL Center for Media Fund for the same purposes for which the funds were established, for which repayment in equal amount is made by the earlier of 2 years from the date of the resolution or such time as the funds are raised. So moved. As we discussed thoroughly at the Finance Committee, this is our leap ahead to make sure we make the match of a very wonderful grant from the Mandel Foundation to fulfill what I think is a very important fiduciary duty about the Northeast Ohio Broadcast Archive and our commitment to it. And just wonderful thanks to the staff and everybody who's keeping to make this happen. I just would have probably felt that we were committing some sort of heinous library crime if we let this stuff end up in a landfill. So I'm very proud of our effort on this. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Exhibit 13 is a resolution to authorize agreement for installation of boilers at the South Brooklyn campus. Project was bid and be it resolved that the Board of Library Trustees hereby adopts the determination of the Library Administration that the bid submitted by the Cavalry Mechanical is the lowest responsible bid from among the two bids received and authorizes the Executive Director, CEO, or his designee to enter into an agreement with Cavalry Mechanical, subject to the approval of the Chief Legal Officer for the South Brooklyn Boiler Replacement Project for an amount not to exceed $150,480, which expenditure shall be charged to the Billing Repair Fund account 401-785-0555-300, construction improvements. So moved. And John, I forgot to ask, we'll get this done before winter?
That's the plan.
Okay.
The boilers themselves have actually been purchased by the library directly, so they're in storage waiting. This project is installation, integration, all the plumbing, all the controls, and bringing online with the library's building automation system.
And I meant to ask Tuesday, how old were the old boilers?
You know, Carrie just asked me that. We think that think they might be original to the building, which was 1979.
Oh my
I was
goodness.
thinking,
We got good use out of those. Wow.
Yeah, I was just texting with Oliver Reyes, he's our director of property management.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking up our records and we had a big lump sum. I couldn't pull out exactly when the boilers were replaced, but it looked like 1979 was when we originally captured the capital asset.
That's
Wow.
longer than, that's as long as I've been married, so that's that's a pretty good boiler.
I guess it's time to get a new
Time to
one.
get a new boiler.
Not a new wife, a new boiler.
Wow.
Or boilers on the tree line.
I think it's been moved in second, Michael.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the second was
Trustee Parker.
Ms. Butts,
Yes.
Ms. Fryer,
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Rashid.
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan.
Yes.
And Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Exhibit 14th is a housekeeping resolution that we do every month. Seventh Amendment to the year 2025 appropriation. Be resolved that sums indicated on the attached Seventh Amendment to the year 2025 appropriation schedule be approved. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Butts,
Yes.
Ms. Fryer,
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Rashid,
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan.
Yes.
And Mr. Parker.
Yes.
And that would conclude the Finance Committee report.
Well, we have a couple of reports.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about the report.
It's
Um,
okay.
Attached to the agenda are, because this is the end of summer and a couple months where we weren't meeting, included in the Finance Committee is the fiscal officer's reports for June, July, and August, A1, A1, and A2, reports on investments during June, July, and August, reports B, B1, and B2, reports on conference and travel expenditures, June, July, and August, reports C, C1, and C2. That's where the evidence of our attending the Philadelphia American Library Association at present. Reports on all vendor expenditures, June, July, and August, reports D, D1, and D2. Reports on expenditures made from the owner's contingency funds for the MLK Junior, Rockport, Glenville, and Walls branches. Those are reports E, E1, and E2. Reports on expenditures made from the owner's contingency fund for the high-density shelving project, June, July, August report, which is reports F, F1, and F2. Reports on expenditures made from the owner's contingency fund for the new main library staff breakout project, June, July, August. Those are reports G, G1, and G2. Reports on expenditures made from the owner's contingency fund for the Tech Central renovation project. Those are reports H, H1, and H2 for June, July, and August. Reports on expenditures made for the owner's contingency fund for the Eastman Reading Garden lighting project, June, July, and August. Reports I, I1, and I2. And the fees paid for legal and consulting services for the periods April 1 through June 30th. That's report J. Those reports are all part of this committee report and do not require a vote, but are submitted for everybody's transparent review and knowledge. So concludes the Finance Committee.
Thank you, Trustee Corrigan. Before we move into the Human Resource Committee report, we're going to go out of order, if that's okay. We're going to go ahead with public comment. We do have a couple speakers. First, we have Camilo Villa. Hola. Bien.
Good afternoon, Board. Thank you for your time. My name is Camilo Villa with SEIU Local 1. That's not 1199, the local here at CPL, but a sister local in the same union. I am here to raise my concerns about the private security contractor, Royce Security, that CPL uses to supplement the in-house security employed by the library. If this sounds familiar to some of you, it is because I spoke here about 3 years ago raising the same concerns. At that time, hundreds of security officers in Cleveland, including Royce officers, were coming together to organize a union with SEIU Local 1. Royce refused to come to the table and recognize their employees' rights to organize. As a result, a number of downtown building owners opted to change contractors out of respect for the labor rights of the workers who keep their buildings safe. Officers in those buildings, one of them is here with us today, are now at this time bargaining their first contract for security officers, for private security officers in Cleveland. When we first raised concerns about Royce with the library, we were assured that soon the library would only be using well-paid, respected in-house security officers. 3 years later, that is not the case. Not only does the library continue to reward anti-union behavior by hiring Royce, we have confirmed through outreach to Royce officers at various libraries that they are still making only $13 per hour. $13 is an unconscionable poverty wage in 2025. It is essential that institutions like Cleveland Public Library ensure that all workers who serve the community at our libraries, whether direct employed or contracted, receive a living wage and dignity on the job. The library should not do business with companies who perpetuate poverty and treat their employees as second-class citizens by denying them their labor rights. We are calling on the library to immediately address the poverty wages and anti-union practices of Royce Security. We recognize the library's need for supplemental security via a contractor, but we urge you to utilize only responsible contractors who commit to respecting the rights and dignity of their employees. And I was really glad to hear during the financial report that the library does have a higher standard than cheapest available. Best responsible, best quality, best investment of the money. So I would ask the board if a company that union busts, has incredibly high turnover, and pays extreme poverty wages is really delivering the best value for our community here at the libraries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Valerie Johnson.
I'm a little short. Okay, good morning. Good afternoon. Excuse me. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Valerie Johnson, and I'm not with Royce, thank goodness. But I am a security guard. My previous knowledge in regards to career organizing, coordinating programs, and I love the library. My kids love the library. When my son was featured in an article here at this same library. And at this same library, my kids love to do activities here. And along with the branch on 152nd and St. Clair. It's a sense of home, and it's a sense of learning where some of the children's superheroes are security guards. Okay, Mr. Corrigan, you talked about, your superhero, story, whatever. But a lot of these security guards, they come to know the kids. They know when something's wrong. They are the first line of defense when something happens. And a lot of them are armed. So at the end of the day, $13 an hour is like not a livable wage. That's not even $15 an hour. So my thing is, as a single mom, I've been blessed to see my kids through college. I have 2 in college right now. My son graduated from Tri-C with his associates in liberal arts, and now he's at Kent State receiving his bachelor's. And my daughter attends Cleveland State University, and my baby girl, thank God, last one, attends St. Martin de Porres, and she'll be going to Bowling Green. If it wasn't for the influence of the library's learning core here and the security guards that made them feel so welcome, and when you have a security guard that you can count on, I've seen children actually talk to the security guards about their day, about how they've been bullied, and they're able to give them wisdom. And so when you think about a company that's basically saying, we don't care about you. We don't care about you, because if we cared about you, we would care that we know that we have moms working for us that are trying to take care of their families. We would care that we have students working for us trying to go to school to make it to a better level as far as in their career. I just want, I just want everyone to take with them, not to just say what a person wants to hear, but to actually do something about it and to hold them accountable. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I will take the blame here. I had conversation with Camilo and others 2.5 years ago, and promised that we were going to get to a point where we would have only library security working here. And we've been working toward it, but we haven't got there. And so it is on me and my responsibility to reach out to you to let you know, and I should have followed back up. So I'll take that responsibility. So that's a conversation for me to have with the board.
But
and
I
discuss.
also, it's not 100% on you, and I know the communication could be improved, but I know we've been trying to hire so much. I saw Lynn here, and that is something that we've been trying very hard to do at hiring our own security and training them, but there seems to be such a turnover.
We're about, what, 80%
But we're
of where we
we're
want to be?
working for it.
Little higher, but we do have a high rate of turnover, and we're working to find a strategy to.
Retention.
Yeah,
Come on.
retention, yep.
Are you saying that 80% are our employees?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
it used
trying to
be.
go to 100.
We're
We're
trying
trying.
to get there, but we just have not been able to get where we want.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank the security officer who just spoke and talked about the safe environment, the homey feeling that the library branches offer. It was really comforting to hear and encouraging to hear that, you know, the security guards that do work here are playing that role with your family. So that was encouraging. To address the question, though, we are a little higher than 80%. Full staffing will be 68 security officers. We currently are in the high 50s, and it is turnover, retention. We have challenges with people coming from contract agencies and adapting to the culture. And so we're working on strategies to mitigate those.
So
that
how,
turnover.
so our own employees that you say are the 80+% are getting more than $13 an hour?
Yes, they are.
Yes.
What's their starting salary?
Starting salary for a safety aide, which we have 8, we're budgeted for 8 positions, is $18.50, $19. Each year, they escalate the starting wage, and starting salary for a security officer, 1, is $20 an hour.
I recall earlier in the spring, we passed a few resolutions regarding
The step wages.
the step wages. How many current security officers do we use from that contractor?
We are under 5 security
Good.
officers, and we're making efforts to, you know, hire our own staff to replace those locations. The challenge again is retention.
Yeah, it's my understanding, only because I got to know a couple of our, not long-term, but medium-term people. The reality is that the library experience is good for their resumes, and they actually get offered more. And part of the retention problem is better opportunities elsewhere. because
Better
we-
opportunities, the marketplace is competitive. We just received 2 calls from local law enforcement agencies trying to recruit our security officers because they are so well-trained.
So I think the question that we will work through, and the question that's being asked by SEIU one, is the one way or the other, whether the current contractor we have is the best contractor that we could have, considering all of the options. We may be at a place where we're always going to need someone because we always have people moving. But if we're going to have some form of contractor, is that the right contractor for us to have? I think that's the question, and we need to further discuss that.
I would like to put a pin on the perspective, however, whichever vendor we use, we try to select vendors, and then we do provide support for those vendors. And so we do our best to equip them to, you know, provide the best service we can for the library and its patrons.
Because this is a marketplace that's changing so rapidly, I'd also appreciate for our friends from the union to, they highlighted that there are other companies that pay a better wage. So at least we could have some, if you could periodically update the leadership on suggested vendors. So when we do bidding, you know, we have a complete current list of good options.
And we're obviously putting Brian in a situation where we know these are contracts that have to be bid. And so it means that we have to make sure that we've done all the points to be able to select somebody other than the lowest bidder. because it's a value bid, not just the lowest bid. So I know we're putting more on you, Brian, but we appreciate your effort in this and assure SEIU one that this is a matter of concern. This board is unanimous in its support of trying to have good labor relations and the best possible employees for our branches and our main library.
When will bids be open? When is the contract open for us?
We are currently on an extension because our goal was to replace Royce with our own staffing. So we are on a 1-year extension that terminates at the end of the year.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Chief.
Thank you. And our last speaker is my friend Stephen. How are you, Stephen?
First, what's your name? So I don't forget it. Michael. Okay. All right. Before I speak, I heard that the fleet branch, you're building a new fleet branch?
Yes.
Is the current building going to stay open while you're working on that, a new one?
Probably not.
Okay, all right, well then I'll get started, okay? I usually don't speak much of politics, but we do have a problem of neo-communism going around. While I was waiting at a bus stop in Collinwood, I read a sticker that was posted there. The sticker read, "Support the middle class, stop the billionaires, support the Communist Party of America." Once again, the sticker read, "Support the middle class, stop the billionaires, support the Communist Party of America." Let's face it, communism is not the answer to anything. In traditional communism, freedom of speech is denied, freedom of religion is denied, and your body and soul is property of the state. Many people remember the communists as being absolute dictators and butchers. Many of our parents and ancestors ran away from communist Europe to come to America to experience a new freedom. And now we have a movement to bring communism to America. Unacceptable. Yes, we do have a problem with rich people and greed over here, but neo-communism is not the solution to it. You don't fight fire with fire. Support America, not communism. Support America. Support America.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Here's a picture. That's what my cart looks like.
Okay. Oh, wow, you're a good job. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for coming to speak. We're now going to move into the Human Resource Committee report. Trustee Shakarian.
We are going to go out of order and begin with Exhibit 16, a retirement recognition citation. Retirement recognition citation. A citation has been issued for the following staff members on the occasion of their retirement. Philip Creeder, branch clerk for 38 years. Timothy Damon, page for 9 years. Cedric Johns, director of Employee and Labor Relations for 12 years. And William Chase, library assistant for 38 years. Be it resolved that the citation for the above staff members presented by the Board of Trustees in appreciation of their faithful and dedicated service given to the library be recorded in the minutes of this meeting, and be it further resolved that the citation be sent to them forthwith. They are not present at this meeting of the Board of Trustees.
Yay.
So moved.
Second.
And Mr. Chase is here.
Yes.
So come We have for Mr. Chase a retiree badge. So this is for you, and then a special Cleveland Public Library pin. And then I ask that you come over here so we can take a picture with you.
Yes.
I think maybe John, you can take the picture if we don't have one. Or Tama. Thank you.
There it is.
So we haven't had, Bill, come on. Come on. So historically, the picture is taken of someone being able to sit in the chair's seat and actually hold the gavel. So you have earned it. And Gertie, if you wouldn't mind coming up and saying a few words about Mr. Chase.
Which end?
Thank you. First, Bill, tell us what year, don't make me do the math you were just saying. When did you start here?
1987 is a sub.
1987.
Wow.
If you want to be exact, December 7th, 1987.
Day of. Yeah.
Infamy, yeah.
Well, I just want to thank, as someone who's worked with my whole career here with Bill, I on behalf of the staff and the board, I want to thank you. Bill is one of these rare characters. No one ever has said a bad word about Bill. He's been in. We've used him for so many things. He's, if you've been to special collections, he's so wonderful to every single person that has ever graced that floor. From little kids, showing them the world's smallest books and chess, to people who are coming in their GED, to the highest level of chess research. Most people don't know about Bill. He's not only just an expert in so many, he's an expert in boxing. I don't know if anybody knows this. We have reached out to him about his pugilism knowledge so much over the years. And you don't think that's a big thing, but there's people who would like to know about Golden Gloves and about boxing history. And Bill's our go-to. When you lose someone who's been here that long, you lose so much knowledge. He's one of our old school library staff, and we're going to miss you. And I thank you for all of your knowledge. For my love of 1930s films, it's from you, Mr. Sparrow. And thank you, Bill. I can't say it enough. Thank you from all of us.
So now you can just hit.
I can do this.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Bill. We appreciate you. It's going to be hard not seeing you, but I know we'll see you around.
I'll be somewhere.
Thank you.
And the vote, Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Sheedy?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Congratulations again.
Yes.
And so returning to our original order, Exhibit 15, the regular employment report detailing the new hires, the transfers, the retirements, resignations, and terminations, along with the compensation changes report from the full summer. So moved?
Second.
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez? Ms.
Yes.
Rashid?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
And Mr. Parker?
Yes.
And the balance of the Human Resources Committee reports are the reports on paid sick time, employee demographics, our EEO report, and the insurance summary report. And that concludes the Human Resources Committee report.
Thank you, Trustee Shakarian. Moving on to the Community Service Committee report, Trustee Fryer, please.
Yes, report in is the monthly activity report for the summer months, and then I'll turn it over to Shanice for the John for the building status update.
Just a few other things to mention this month. We unfortunately did have a bullet broke the glass on LSW on the Rockwell side. Some of the board members might have seen it driving up. It was a specialty piece of glass. It's been recently ordered, so we look forward to getting that taken care of soon. We've been retrofitting light fixtures from fluorescents to LEDs throughout the system, as reported in the property management report that's in the minutes. And the Walls project, we talked about this a little bit on Tuesday, but just a reminder, thanks for everyone who participated in the groundbreaking ceremony. The contractor has been on site. The heavy soil work hasn't happened yet, but the survey is ongoing. We're working with St. Augustine to relocate their fencing, so it will serve as the perimeter of the construction site. And we are working through some geotechnical concerns with the slope stability of the retaining wall on the east side of the site. We'll be moving forward, and I expect dirt to be turning in really soon on the Walls project.
Thank you. So excited.
Thanks so much, John. I will now turn it over to Shanice for the advocacy task force update and the foundation update.
I did have a quick question on the branch visits. Is Rice just because of school coming back into session? And maybe staff can get back to me later, Because it was a pretty significant increase in August.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, good afternoon, good afternoon. As it relates to advocacy, we are continuing to evaluate the state budget to identify funding opportunities that align with our priorities. We are also watching a number of property tax reform bills and will provide timely updates as more information is uncovered from our lobbyist and in alignment with OLC. I don't know, Director, if you wanted to provide any more information.
Not at this time.
Got it. As it relates to the foundation, I want to talk about year-to-date, we've raised more than $4.4 million. That's inclusive of our Mandel gifts that we did receive. Our focal point is to finish the year strong, inclusive of successfully executing the Black, White, and Read event. We hope that you'll be there. Thank you so much for your support. For those who have bought their tickets, it's going to be October 9th from 6 to 9 p.m. We're going to, it's featuring Amanda Knox, and 2 phenomenal community leaders will be getting recognized that evening as well. Tickets are on sale, and we do have VIP packages as well. In alignment with that, Jacqueline, I don't want to steal your thunder, but the First Science of Reading Conference will be held next month. You should have already received the information on that. We contributed about $35,000 to that project. We've invited Governor DeWine, being that this is an effort that he has championed. Our work will amplify what's going on in the school district. So if you are able to attend, we would love to see you there as well. And as it relates to the Northeast Ohio Broadcast Archive Project, which is a huge initiative for our work, we have developed an advisory group inclusive of Director Thomas, CPL executive leadership members, trustees, members of the foundation board. We've already had about 2 to 3 meetings with this group, and we'll be setting up quarterly meetings to schedule. We'll schedule quarterly meetings to advance our work for this work, for this effort. Big thanks to Trustee Shakarian and Trustee Madam President Rodriguez for their support just around fundraising in general. I would like to also state that I have concluded my report. Thank you.
Great,
Denise,
thank you.
I had one question. Do we have a save the date yet for April and Columbus with the Ohio Library Council?
Not yet. I
Okay.
don't think it's out
They
yet,
haven't
but as soon as I
come up
get
with the
it,
date.
Okay,
I will share.
thank
For
you.
sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll turn it over to Ashley for the DEIA update.
Good afternoon, members of the board. This Saturday, September 20th, Cleveland Public Library, we're a proud partner of the Northeast Ohio Coalition of Disability Organizations, also known as NACDO, will be participating in a March for Access. That's from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. We are set to march from 127 Public Square promptly at 11 a.m. On Thursday, September 25th, from 12 to 1 p.m., we will have a lunch and learn session that is open to the public via Teams. It is entitled Impact and Legacy of American Indian Boarding Schools with the presenter. Her name is Deidre Whiteman. So we invite you all to join us. That should be in your board packet. And also Saturday, September 27th from 12 to 3 p.m., we will have our Hispanic Heritage Month kickoff event at our Fulton campus. So we hope to see you all there. We're going to have lots of fun. We're going to have food. We have a DJ. We have some entertainment for you all. So I look forward to seeing you all there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. This concludes the Community Services Committee report.
Thank you. At this time, there is no old business or new business, but we had 2 additional comments that were sent in to us electronically. The first is from a patron disputing his removal from a branch due to sleeping. That is something which is a violation of our patron code of conduct. The Director of Safety and Protective Services reached out to the patron to discuss the incident, and they resolved the issue amicably. The patron is now welcome back to the branch. And then the second comment was expressing an appreciation to our facilities team for having the West Park campus parking lot paved.
Finally. Thank you.
We always get bad stuff, but it's something nice to hear. Yeah, they're all happy about that. So at this time, I move to adjourn into, go ahead.
you're talking about, I'm going because of the executive session, but when you're talking about persons sleeping, well, it's good to have some Coke machines and Pepsi machines in the library to help keep you awake.
Stephen, Coke is not good for you. Drink water. Oh, caffeine, huh? Okay.
I can't stay awake without caffeine. I use it.
Thank you, Stephen.
Steven's on caffeine, imagine that.
Yes.
Provide that and all.
And I did, I mean that, I hate Coke, I just sodas.
I just want everybody to know that when I was in law school, I was removed from the special collections twice for sleeping.
Well, we would have put you out too.
It was a very quiet place.
Oh.
And
It happens.
law school being law school, it was hard sometimes to find a place to really, so I know it's still equally enforced. I was allowed back, but it was a fact that that's been a long-term policy. Since I'm 50 years a lawyer, that gives you some idea how long ago that was, so.
So at this time, I move to adjourn into executive session for the purpose of discussing collective bargaining matters.
So moved.
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakari?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we staying here or are we going?
Are we going here?
I think, we're staying here.